Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the single market program.
Today in the program, Kazakhstan-Russia, connection in the country-region format. South Zone of new perspectives. In what CIS cities do Russians have vacation? Market lessons, export as growth guarantee. Hello, I am Yerkebulan Bekmukhambet. You're watching the Single Market Program. Kazakhstan supports trade and economic relations not only between countries but also between their separate regions. The business cooperation between Kazakhstan and Tatarstan is one of such examples. Last year, the mutual trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Tatarstan increased by 40%, and its volume was more than $700 million. In 2018, the growth rate of this parameter increased even more. Only in the first quarter, there was an increase in turnover by 60%. This shows that trade and economic relations between Kazakhstan and Tatarstan have high potential. This trend was also mentioned at the Kazakh-Tatar Business Forum that took place in Astana, almost immediately after the visit of the president of our country to Kazan. The Kazakh party offered a number of joint projects in the field of engineering, defense, and space industries. The choice of these priorities was made considering the technological experience accumulated by both countries, as well as new trends in the Industrial Revolution. Among 85 Russian regions, Tatarstan ranks 5th in terms of industrial output and 6th in terms of gross regional product. The extraction and processing of oil is about 20% of our volume of industrial production. Another 37% is petrochemistry, and engineering is about 20%. The machine building sector can be considered a launching pad for projects on production cooperation. In 2005, in Kokshetau, a joint venture was established to assemble Kamaz equipment. Its shareholders are a group of companies Kamaz, which owns 75% of the shares, and the national company, Kazakhstan Engineering, which owns 25%. The main goal of the establishment of the enterprise was to bring the end product closer to the consumer in the Kazakhstan market, since it is the second largest market in terms of volume after the Russian market. This successful experience motivates the machine builders of Tatarstan to implement new joint projects. For example, the Kazan helicopter plant, which is part of the holding company, Russian Helicopters, does not exclude the possibility of creating an assembly production in Kazakhstan. We have been working with Kazakhstan for a long time. We supply here helicopters Mi-8, Mi-17 of various modifications. So far, everything is being discussed. In general, the business climate is favorable for us. There are large areas, therefore there is always a need of small aircraft. Moreover, today, Kazakhstan pays special attention to industrial development. In the Republic, there are 11 special economic zones and 22 industrial zones which provide investors with various preferences. Another factor in favor of creating joint ventures is the perspectives associated with the transition of the industry to a new format. We will focus on the digitalization of the industry using the technological structure 4.0 in the next 5 years. So we are interested in the experience of Tatarstan enterprises. Some of the best industrial parks and industrial parks of Russia work in Tatarstan. Especially for the implementation of IT projects, a science city was created, a special economic zone, Innopolis. In turn, in Kazakhstan, there is such a prestigious project as the International Financial Center, Astana. This center offers modern banking products, including Islamic finance. The president of Tatarstan attended its presentation and he was impressed by the project. Such an international financial center is a great finding for us. Such revolutionary decisions have been made which we, perhaps, could not even imagine. New opportunities in optimizing logistics and increasing the volume of transit cargoes will allow Tatarstan to participate in Kazakhstan's project, Special Economic Zone, Khorgos Eastern Gate. Container flow from China to Russia and from China through Russia to Europe is growing, using the infrastructure of Kazakhstan. We would like to invite the Tatar business to participate in these projects. The opportunities for trade and economic ties between Kazakhstan and Tatarstan are now visible in a variety of areas. Judging by the mood, both sides want to take advantage of them as fast as possible.
Курица, несущая золотые яйца.
The chicken that lays golden eggs. This aphorism best describes the potential of tourism sector. For example, the contribution of tourism sector to the gross domestic product in European countries can reach 20%. The analytical agency Turistat did a rating of the CIS cities that were the most attractive in the season in terms of summer travel. Our observer, Alexander Galiev, will continue the topic.
В сезоне с точки зрения летних путешествий. Слово нашему обозревателю Александру Галиеву.
Let me clarify that Turistat is a Russian analytical agency. Its rating mentions top 10 cities of the Commonwealth of Independent States that were visited by the Russian tourists most of all. So in summer, the Russians often traveled to Baku, where history and modernity are harmoniously combined. They put Minsk on the second place, which serves as a window to Europe. From there, you can easily reach the cities of Eastern and Western Europe. Good news for Kazakhstani people. The third place in terms of visits by the Russian tourists in summertime is occupied by our southern metropolis, Almaty. The arguments in favor of this city are obvious: the sun, the mountains, the cool rivers, a variety of landscapes, and a decent cuisine. The fourth place is for Yerevan, a city where there are many historical monuments such as temples, monasteries, and treasures, as well as beautiful nature and rich Armenian cuisine. The fifth place, also honorable for us, goes to the youngest capital of the world, the city of Astana, which attracts guests with the impudence of architectural ideas and the aftermath of the international exhibition Expo 2017. The rating continues with Bishkek, Tashkent, Chisinau, Dushanbe, Ashgabat closes the top 10. I dare say that the balance in the rating may change in the next year, since recently the Russians consider the Uzbek cities Tashkent, Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva very attractive. Now let's talk about details. According to the analytical agencies, tourists come to CIS cities in summer on average for a couple of days, and then continue to rest at nearby resorts. For example, they go from Baku to the Caspian Sea. After Minsk, they travel to Lake Narosh. In Almaty, they visit the mountain resort of Shimbulak. After visiting Astana, they immediately go to Bodovoy Resort. After Bishkek, tourists go on vacation to the high-altitude lake Issyk. And instead of a resume. As research has shown, Russian tourists spend on average from $50 to $100 per day during the holidays in cities and resorts of CIS countries. The most inexpensive tours for them are the cities of Chisinau and Bishkek, while Baku and Astana are the destinations for days off and shopping tours. That's it for today. My name is Alexander Galiev.
На территории Казахстана сегодня
In Kazakhstan today, there are 11 special economic zones. They are located in the industrialized centers of the Republic. The specialization of each of these zones was determined, considering the basic resources and priorities of the region's economy. The tasks for all SEZ are the same. It is the attraction of investments, creation of high-tech productions, and development of new types of products. Our correspondent in South Kazakhstan visited the territory of the Special Economic Zone on Tustik to determine its perspectives.
чтобы узнать, каковы ее перспективы.
The project of the Special Economic Zone on Tustik was originally accompanied by various conflicts. The decree on its implementation was published in July 2005. The goal was to create a profile cluster with a closed production cycle in the south of Kazakhstan, and the only region of the Republic that grows cotton, starting from the processing of raw materials and ending with the release of finished products. The first enterprises on the territory of SEZ started working 5 years later. Such a long start is primarily due to the delay in funding for the construction of infrastructure, which was finished by the end of 2011.
Предоставляется участникам.
The participants are provided with the following infrastructure: water supply, gas supply, water disposal, and electricity. I would like to note that all these energy resources are cheaper here than outside the special economic zone.
Энергоресурсы у нас дешевле, чем за территорией специальной экономической зоны.
In addition, the members of the SEZ are granted preferences for taxes such as land, property, corporate, and for value added. Today, 10 projects have already been implemented for the total amount of 27,800,000,000 tenge. One of the projects implemented is a factory for the production of hygroscopic cotton wool and cotton pulp. We want to introduce new products such as purified carboxymethyl cellulose and purified polycellulose with the launch of a new shop. This is the only specialized enterprise in Kazakhstan that provides its products not only for the domestic market but also for the export one. The main share, 90%, goes to Russia. The number of industrial production located in the territory of the SEZ includes a factory for the production of hosiery. There are modern technological lines from the South Korean company which allow producing high-quality products. We supply products mainly to Kazakhstan and 2 Russian cities, Ekaterinburg and Novosibirsk. In the future, we want to deliver to other countries in Eastern Europe. 2 enterprises producing carpets are also aimed at increasing the export potential. For example, this factory supplies its products to Germany, Great Britain, Russia, Azerbaijan, and Kyrgyzstan. The machine at which I'm sitting glues the ends of the carpets. This is done with the help of glue and heat. Carpets come to us straight after the overlock, and then they're sent to the packaging. The competitiveness of products is proved by a prestigious contract with the international trade network, IKEA. They examine the whole factory to check whether we are suitable for them, beginning from how we purchase raw materials, finishing how we cull the products. Soon a newcomer is expected in the territory of the zone Antustik, in the family of light industry enterprises. This will happen thanks to the project, which is implemented jointly with a well-known Turkish company.
Это по производству кожаной обуви Lux Shoes.
This is the production of leather shoes, Lux Shoes. They recently did test products which are of high quality, modern, and beautiful.
Довольно-таки очень качественные, современные.
Along with the increase in the profile production capacity, the SEZ plans to expand its sphere of activity. It is believed that this will motivate potential investors to implement projects in other industries. There are already proposals from investors for the creation of enterprises for the production of building materials, rolled metal, and polypropylene. These diversification plans raise the following question: what about the idea of a cotton textile cluster? In the leading countries, special economic zones have a wide range of activities, since their main task is to create a favorable climate for attracting investments and doing business. As for the formation of the cotton textile cluster, we must put the problem here, as they say, from head to foot. As the world practice shows, the cluster model is used by existing enterprises, which regardless of distance from each other, are united primarily for the purpose of obtaining benefits in the interest of all project participants. Therefore, the special economic zone on Tustik is on the verge of change. Saira Amantayeva, Shymkent, especially for the single market.
Export.
This process plays an important role for each country, not only in terms of economic development. Thanks to export of products, the state receives the currency, accumulates experience of competitiveness. There is a desire to work at the level of world companies. In turn, other Kazakh industries begin to equate this example.
Начинают равняться и другие казахстанские производства.
10
10 years ago, a shop for the production and assembly of components for ventilation systems was opened in one of the districts of Almaty, in the usual garage of the car service station. At that time, there was a construction boom in Kazakhstan and such products were in demand. Gradually, the enterprise was gaining momentum. Volumes were increasing, the production base was expanding. In 2014, the plant started modernization under the program Roadmap of Business. The modern equipment, including a laser cutting machine, was purchased in Germany and China. To master the high-tech lines, they retrained the personnel.
У нас большинство станков имеют числовое программное управление.
The majority of machine tools here have digital program management. All the operators who work at them have been trained and have corresponding certificates from the manufacturers of these machines. That is, any person at the manufacturing site can work at 2 or 3 machines.
Двух-трех станках.
Today, the plant, which processes about 1 million tons of metal per year, produces more than 20,000 products that are used in fire, smoke, and general ventilation systems. This product is designed for industrial facilities in a wide variety of industries. Almost all the models are developed or improved by the engineers and designers who work for the enterprise. At the same time, the products meet high-quality requirements.
Our
quality standards that were established for ourselves correspond to European products. We compete with manufacturers from Germany, Poland, and Italy. In terms of development, the plant initially took a course to modernize not only production but also management. Japanese philosophy of Kaizen was introduced here. Thanks to this kind of management, labor productivity increased by 70% and energy costs decreased by 40%. The achieved results convinced the top management of the enterprise that Kaizen can successfully work in the conditions of Kazakhstan realities. The main thing is to observe its principles.
Что значит строить завод по этим принципам? Это значит минимизация всех лишних.
What does it mean to build a plant based on these principles? This is the minimization of all unnecessary processes. We try to work hard to be as efficient as possible. That is, each product passes the minimum quantity of procedures that is as follows: a warehouse of raw materials, the manufacturing site, the assembly site, the technical control department, the packaging, the warehouse of finished products.
Участок, затем ОТК, затем упаковка, затем склад готовой продукции.
The optimal price-quality ratio allowed the products of this plant to find a decent niche in the market. 70% of products are sent to the regions of Kazakhstan. The remaining 30% are supplied to the foreign markets such as Russia, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. Three years ago, the well-known South Korean company got interested in the Almaty plant. As part of the contract, the Kazakh enterprise began working on the production of a central air conditioning system. By the way, when executing the order, all the production standards of the South Korean company were considered. Today, the plant is a new foreign partner, a British company that produces equipment for the oil and gas industry. This company has made an order for the production of fireproof valves for Tengiz Chevroil.
And we want to assist AVP in developing their equipment to match some of the standard that we do, to maybe help them sort of promote their products away from Kazakhstan.
The interesting fact is that the development of a project for production of fireproof valves for an oil refinery was carried out jointly by the customer and the manufacturer. At the same time, new technologies and materials were used. Here we have samples of valves that the plant have developed in cooperation with English partners, especially for European standards, for oil industry standards. At this enterprise, they will continue to work on improving the quality and optimizing the cost of production. They're sure that such a vector of actions will allow the Almaty plant to raise the competitiveness even more. This will eventually create conditions for increasing volumes and expanding the geography of export supplies. Елена Orlovskaya, Anatoly Valuski, especially for the single market.
На сегодня это все.
That's it for today. My name is Yerkebulan Bekmuhammed. See you soon in the Single Market program.
До встречи в программе Single Market.